The rain fell hard outside the city registry office as people rushed past without looking at one another. Mark stood near the entrance holding a thin folder in one hand and his daughter Lily's small hand in the other. Lily shivered slightly as water soaked the edges of her shoes and her red jacket clung to her arms. Mark bent down and wiped rain from her cheek with his sleeve. He told her they would go inside soon and everything would be fine. Mark had not planned for the day to turn this way. The babysitter canceled early in the morning and his manager warned him not to miss another day of work. The papers in his folder were important because without them his support aide could stop. He felt the pressure in his chest grow heavier as the line near the door barely moved. Lily looked up at the building and then back at her father. She asked if they could go home because she felt cold and tired. Mark forced a small smile and said they just needed a few more minutes. Inside his mind he counted every second. A black car suddenly stopped in front of the office and splashed water across the pavement. The sound drew attention from everyone nearby. The driver rushed to open the door as a tall woman stepped out with sharp movements. Her coat was dark and clean and her posture was firm despite the storm. Her name was Anna. She was known across the city as a powerful business leader who never showed weakness. People whispered when they saw her because her face often appeared in news articles. She did not look at the crowd and only focused on the building door. Anna checked her watch and her jaw tightened. She walked fast toward the entrance just as the clerk inside began closing it. The clerk said the office was closing and told her to return another day. Anna argued that she had an appointment, but the clerk shook his head. Frustration flashed across her face before she turned around. Her eyes moved quickly across the waiting crowd. They stopped on Mark. She walked straight toward him without hesitation. Mark felt uneasy as she stood too close. She asked if he was single in a flat, serious tone. Mark stepped back in shock and asked what she meant. She repeated the question and added if he was legally unmarried. People nearby began to stare openly. Mark felt embarrassed and angry and told her it was none of her business. Anna suddenly grabbed his wrist firmly. She told him to marry her for just 5 minutes. The words felt unreal to Mark. He pulled his hand away and said she must be joking. He told her he had a child and could not play games. Anna glanced at Lily and said she understood. She explained that the process would take only minutes. Mark shook his head and said the idea was insane. Anna leaned closer and lowered her voice. She said if she did not marry today she would lose her company. Mark replied that it was not his problem. Anna looked at the folder in his hand and spoke carefully. She said she noticed the documents and knew the building mattered to him too. Mark clenched the folder tightly as fear rose inside him. Lily tugged his coat and asked what was happening. Mark knelt and told her to stay close to him. He felt torn between anger and worry. The clerk announced that the office was closing immediately. Anna raised her voice and said she had both parties ready. The clerk looked at Mark and waited for an answer. Mark's heart raced as he looked down at Lily. Rainwater dripped from his hair onto the floor. He thought about rent bills and missed workdays and cold nights. Lily whispered that she felt cold again. That small voice pushed him to a breaking point. He looked at Anna and asked if she promised no lies. Anna nodded once without smiling. She said 5 minutes only and nothing more. Mark took a deep breath and agreed. The clerk opened the door again and motioned them inside. The room smelled of paper and old wood. Lily stood beside her father, holding his coat tightly. Mark felt his legs move even though his mind screamed to stop. He stepped into the office knowing this choice could change everything. Anna walked beside him calm and focused as if this was routine. The door closed behind them and blocked out the rain. Mark did not know why fate chose him that day. He only knew that his life was no longer moving in a straight line. The registry office felt quiet and heavy as the door closed behind them and blocked the sound of rain. Mark stood stiff near the counter while Lily held his coat and looked around with curious eyes. Anna walked ahead with confidence as if the place belonged to her. The clerk adjusted his glasses and asked both of them to step forward. Mark's hands trembled slightly as he placed his documents on the counter. He could feel sweat on his palms even though the room was cool. Anna spoke clearly and calmly while answering the clerk's questions. She gave her full name and showed her identification without hesitation. Her voice did not shake even once. Mark struggled to focus as the clerk turned to him. He gave his name slowly and confirmed his details. Every word felt heavy, as if he was signing something he did not understand. Lily watched quietly from the chair nearby, swinging her legs back and forth. She trusted her father, and that trust made Mark feel both strong and weak. He kept glancing at her to remind himself why he was here. The clerk explained the process in a dull voice. He said the legal part would be simple and fast. Mark nodded even though his thoughts were racing. Anna leaned closer and whispered that everything would be fine. Mark did not reply and kept his eyes on the counter. He wondered how a stranger could be so calm while his world felt upside down. The clerk asked them to confirm their consent. Mark hesitated for a moment before answering yes. His voice sounded distant even to his own ears. Anna answered immediately and signed the paper. Her signature was neat and confident. Mark signed next with a shaky hand. The clerk stamped the document and nodded. He said the marriage was legally valid. The words echoed in Mark's head. Lily frowned slightly and asked if they were leaving now. Mark walked to her and knelt beside her. He told her they would leave soon and everything was okay. Anna thanked the clerk and turned toward Mark. Her expression softened slightly for the first time. She told him they needed to talk. They moved to a small seating area near the wall. Lily sat between them holding her bag. Mark crossed his arms, unsure what to expect next. Anna explained that her company required her to be married to secure control from certain board members. She said it was part of an old agreement she never expected to matter. Today was the final deadline. Mark listened silently as anger slowly faded into confusion. He asked why she chose him. Anna said she needed someone honest and available without complications. Mark laughed bitterly and said his life was full of complications. Anna replied that honesty mattered more than status. She said she saw how he treated his daughter. Lily smiled slightly when Anna looked at her. Anna asked Lily if she liked drawing. Lily nodded shyly and said she loved coloring books. Anna reached into her bag and pulled out a small notebook. She handed it to Lily and said it was a gift. Lily's eyes lit up with surprise. Mark watched the moment with mixed feelings. He felt uncomfortable seeing kindness from someone who pulled him into chaos. Yet he could not deny the warmth Lily felt. Anna said the marriage would be temporary. She promised there would be legal papers to end it soon. She said Mark would receive compensation for his time and trouble. Mark shook his head and said money was not the reason he agreed. He said he only wanted stability for his child. Anna said she understood and respected that. They left the registry office together as the rain slowed outside. The street looked calmer than before. People no longer stared at them. Anna offered to drive them home. Mark hesitated but accepted after seeing Lily's tired face. The car was quiet as they drove through the city. Lily leaned against the seat and slowly fell asleep. Mark watched her chest rise and fall peacefully. He felt a strange sense of protection inside the car. Anna broke the silence and said she would make sure nothing bad came from this decision. Mark replied that he hoped so. Neither of them smiled. When the car stopped near Mark's building, Anna handed him a card. She said they would meet again soon to discuss the next steps. Mark took the card without looking at it. He lifted Lily carefully and thanked Anna quietly. Anna nodded and watched them walk away. Her eyes followed them longer than she expected. Inside his small apartment, Mark laid Lily on the bed. He sat beside her and held her hand. The room felt different now. Mark stared at the wall as questions filled his mind. He wondered how 5 minutes could change so much. Sleep did not come easily that night. Across the city, Anna stood alone in her apartment. She looked at the same papers Mark signed earlier. For the first time in years she felt unsure. Morning light entered Mark's apartment through the thin curtains and rested softly on the walls. Mark woke before the alarm and stared at the ceiling while his mind replayed the events of the previous day. He turned his head and looked at Lily sleeping peacefully beside him. Lily's face looked calm and safe, and that gave him strength. He slowly got out of bed and prepared breakfast with careful movements. The smell of toast filled the small kitchen. When Lily woke up she rubbed her eyes and asked if it was a school day. Mark smiled and said yes while pouring juice into a cup. He tried to act normal, even though his thoughts were heavy. As Lily ate she asked about Anna. She asked if the lady from yesterday was coming again. Mark paused before answering and said he was not sure. He walked Lily to school holding her hand tightly. The streets looked ordinary but Mark felt different inside. Every sound seemed louder and every moment felt important. After leaving Lily at school Mark went to work. He struggled to focus on his tasks and made small mistakes. His manager noticed and warned him gently. Mark nodded and promised to do better. Inside he felt torn between fear and responsibility. He knew this strange marriage could not stay hidden forever. At noon his phone vibrated with an unknown number. He stared at the screen for a moment before answering. Anna's voice came through calm and direct. She asked how Lily was doing. Mark answered honestly and said she was fine. The question surprised him more than he expected. Anna said she needed to meet him that evening. She explained there were documents that required his presence. Mark agreed even though tension rose in his chest. After work he picked Lily up from school. Lily talked happily about her drawings and friends. Her joy reminded him why he kept moving forward. They arrived at Anna's office just before sunset. The building was tall and made of glass and steel. Lily looked around in awe as they entered. Anna greeted them in the lobby. She was dressed simply compared to before. Her expression was serious but not cold. She offered Lily a juice and some snacks. Lily accepted happily and sat on a couch. Mark watched carefully, still unsure of everything. Anna led Mark into a meeting room. She spread several papers across the table. She explained that board members demanded proof of stability. Mark listened while trying to understand her world. He had never been near people with such power. It felt distant and overwhelming. Anna said the marriage needed to look real for a short time. She promised clear boundaries and respect. Mark crossed his arms and asked what that meant exactly. She said no lies to Lily and no false promises. She said Lily's well-being mattered to her. Mark studied her face, searching for truth. He asked why she cared. Anna paused before answering. She said her own childhood lacked safety and warmth. She said she recognized something familiar in Lily. Mark felt his anger soften slightly. He still remained cautious. They returned to the lobby where Lily was drawing. Lily proudly showed Anna her picture. Anna smiled genuinely and praised her work. Mark noticed the change in Anna when she spoke to Lily. The cold edge faded into something warmer. It confused him more than anything else. Over the next few days, Anna became present in their lives. She helped with school arrangements and paperwork. She never crossed lines Mark set. Lily slowly grew comfortable around her. She asked Anna questions and shared stories. Anna listened patiently every time. Mark remained alert but could not deny the help. Bills were handled and pressure eased. Life became slightly more stable. One evening Lily asked if Anna was part of their family now. Mark felt his chest tighten. He looked at Anna, unsure how to answer. Anna said families could take many forms. She said trust mattered more than labels. Lily nodded as if that was enough. Later that night Mark confronted Anna privately. He asked what would happen when this ended. Anna admitted she did not know. She said this situation changed more than she expected. Mark said it changed him too. Silence filled the room. Both of them realized the lines were no longer clear. The 5 minutes had turned into days. And the days were quietly turning into something deeper. Weeks passed and the strange arrangement slowly became part of daily life. Mark noticed mornings felt less rushed and nights felt less heavy. Lily laughed more often and slept without worry. Anna kept her word and never crossed boundaries. She visited regularly but always asked before making decisions. Mark appreciated the respect even when confusion remained. At work Mark's focus improved and his manager noticed the change. He worked harder with a lighter heart. Stability slowly returned to his life. Anna faced pressure from her company board every day. Meetings grew intense and expectations stayed high. Yet she felt stronger knowing she was not alone. One afternoon the board demanded a public appearance. They wanted proof that her life was settled. Anna felt the familiar weight of control pressing down. She explained the situation to Mark honestly. She said there would be no lies spoken. Mark took time to think before answering. He looked at Lily playing on the floor. He thought about how far they had come. He agreed to stand beside Anna for the event. The evening arrived quickly. The hall was filled with lights and quiet chatter. Mark held Lily's hand as they entered together. Anna walked beside them calm and composed. She introduced Mark simply as her husband. No drama followed, only polite nods. Lily smiled proudly and waved at people. Her joy eased Mark's nerves. Anna noticed and felt warmth she had not expected. The event ended without trouble. The board seemed satisfied. Control of the company remained secure. Afterward Anna thanked Mark sincerely. She said he had done more than he realized. Mark replied that Lily came first always. That night they shared a quiet dinner at Mark's apartment. Lily talked excitedly about the lights and dresses. Anna listened with real interest. When Lily went to bed silence filled the room. Mark and Anna sat across from each other. The truth could no longer be avoided. Anna said the board no longer needed proof. She said the marriage could end legally if he wished. Her voice was steady but her eyes showed uncertainty. Mark felt a strange tightness in his chest. He realized fear was not the only thing holding him. Something deeper had grown quietly. He asked Anna what she wanted. She hesitated before answering. She said she wanted honesty above all. She admitted she cared for Lily. She admitted she cared for him. The words surprised even her. Mark stood and walked to the window. He looked at the city lights below. He thought about the past and the present. Life had given him many hard lessons. Trust was the hardest of all. Yet this trust had already been given without realizing it. Mark turned back and spoke carefully. He said Lily deserved truth and stability. He said he did not want another ending that hurt her. Anna nodded and said she understood. She said nothing would happen without care. Time would decide everything. Days turned into calmer routines. Anna continued helping but stepped back when needed. Mark saw the effort and respect. Lily began calling Anna by her name with comfort. She asked if they could draw together more often. Anna always agreed. One evening Lily asked a simple question. She asked if Anna would stay forever. The room grew quiet. Mark knelt beside Lily and answered gently. He said some people choose to stay. They stay because love grows, not because of papers. Lily smiled and hugged them both. That moment settled something deep inside Mark. He finally understood his own heart. Later that night Mark spoke to Anna privately. He said the marriage did not need to be an act anymore. He said they could choose freely. Anna's breath caught slightly. She asked if he was sure. Mark nodded without fear. He said they would move slowly and honestly. Lily would always come first. Anna agreed without hesitation. They decided not to rush labels or promises. They chose patience and trust. For the first time the future felt open. Months later the legal papers remained untouched. Not because of obligation but because of choice. Their home felt complete in a quiet way. Mark watched Lily laugh between them one evening. Anna smiled with warmth instead of control. The cold CEO was gone. 5 minutes had changed everything. Not through force but through honesty. And a family was formed not by law but by heart.